looking at?
Please note, this podcast contains adult language and just general fuckery. Listener discretion is advised. Bum bum. If you're looking for a special edition of a Rewind that features Bill and Dan, then this is the podcast for you. I'm Sara, and today I have two very VIP guests to talk all about Las Vegas, the Star Trek convention that's coming up soon, and maybe a little movie you love or hate known as Insurrection.
Welcome, guys! Hi!
I am.
Oh, is it our turn?
So excited. I don't even know what to say.
Oh my God.
Hey, Sara.
Hi. It's been so long.
It has been. It's been a long, road.
It's not. No, let's not.
Getting from
here to here.
Canada
there
to Las
there.
Vegas. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey, yeah.
Get me on that plane. Ready
Take
to
off,
rock
eh?
and roll.
It is great to see you.
It's great to
Yes.
see you guys.
The last time I actually saw your wonderfulness was in Vegas.
And you didn't have a goatee. Has it taken that long to
Oh
get
my
that one
God.
back?
No,
or what?
no. Luckily it grows in quick. I hated that so much.
Oh.
Shaving that thing off. It was.
So did the rest of us that had to look at you.
I'm sure because I couldn't stand to look at me. But no, this grew in it grows in like a week, 2 weeks. Yeah,
Mine too. Lovely.
So I will not be doing that this year. I will be goatee full the whole time.
Fantastic.
Goatee
Well,
full.
That
Beautiful,
makes
goatee full, whatever you want to say.
No.
There's a t-shirt in there. I think there's a t-shirt there. Well, that's a great little segue. Are you going to have any costumes planned for Las Vegas this year, my friend?
I am only planning on doing a very subtle cosplay, and it's what I did in Chicago. I'm just going to have my Admiral Picard uniform. I'm not going to go all out. I'm not going to do the Thanos this year. I'm not going to do Galt. I'm going to kind of dial it back a little bit so that I can be at the booth a lot more and be talking to people when they come over and enjoying that aspect of it, doing some recordings while we're there. And one day I'll just wear the uniform around the whole convention floor.
You left out the part. It's basically so your podcast partner doesn't kill you.
Yeah, whatever.
Bill, you're not going to do cosplay. You don't usually dress up. No, neither do I.
No, not usually. I sometimes, but I've gained my COVID-19 and then some, and I need to go through the Body by Starfleet program to fit back into my Starfleet uniforms. So maybe next year we'll see.
Yes.
I understand.
You? Do you ever do anything?
No, I don't.
Okay.
It's it's that much more I have to try and pack, and I don't even know where I would get a uniform. It's very different when you live on an island in Canada. You're at the mercy of the internet, and I don't trust measuring myself to get something made. Yeah.
Oh well.
And it's Vegas. It's hot.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, although when I'm staying at the Rio, which looks lovely, they've obviously just, I don't know, should I be staying there? Is it okay? Am I elite enough to be staying there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly more elite than we are.
Oh, they're not putting the actors up in there, are they? Jesus.
It's no Bally's, at least.
Well, I can tell you that the actors on current Star Trek usually stay at the Cosmopolitan or the Aria.
Yeah.
That's when CBS was running the show. I would imagine they're not staying at the Rio, and I wouldn't want them to.
No, not at all.
No, we don't need to have the headlines about how many actors just got Legionnaire's disease.
Yeah, exactly.
Freaking TMZ news. Oh my gosh.
Oh God.
How many feral cats did you adopt while you were there?
The Rio has had a feral cat problem for a long time, in Vegas in general.
Well,
but you can always find them around the Rio. Yeah,
I've never seen one.
Yeah.
No, I've never seen one.
Interesting.
They have lots in Disneyland. They eat the mice and rats and stuff.
I would hope so.
I'd rather be a feral cat than like a feral possum. Or
I'd rather be Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
We'd rather you were too.
Running around.
Wow. Thanks.
Yeah, that video you shared with some of us about the live TikTok about this is the Rio. This is how it's doing. I was shocked, to be honest. Like, I never thought it was like the greatest place. It's actually a lot of the Vegas hotels I could really give two shits about.
Right.
But I just remembered when I went the last time it was there would for me would have been 2017. So that's pre-COVID. It's the heyday.
Yeah.
They had the masquerade performance
The
for
show,
free,
yeah.
and they had there was a pub, and there was lots going on. Wetzel's Pretzels, hello, my favorite.
I earned my beads one year at the Rio.
Oh,
that was
yeah,
great.
you did.
Totally.
What kind of beads?
The kind that Dan normally pulls out. There are some conflicting reports about whether or not that video. It's this
accurate.
TikToker, or this Vegas, the person who does a lot of Vegas content, and I've come to find out that Guy Fieri's, and Dan will be happy about this, is normally open Thursday through Sunday and is closed Monday through Wednesday. And the Starbucks at the convention center, or the one next to the Hash House,
The walk down
is open.
one. Yeah.
Yep, is open 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. So at least
Perfect.
those aspects of the video, at least allegedly right now, are not necessarily true. Although I know people who were there last month and they said, yeah, that video is spot on. So whether or not they're slowly changing things, or that person was just there at the wrong time of day,
Well,
I don't know.
You're in summer season now. It's probably a bit busier season with bachelorettes and weddings and people traveling in general. So they probably spice up a little their staffing, I would hope. And I was playing around on the Google Maps, though. Have you heard of it? Google, they have these maps.
No, what's that?
It's super cool. There's like this website you go to. It's called Google, and you look and there's maps. And not only across the street was there like a Walgreens, but there's also a Chick-fil-A, hello, and a Del Taco, hello. As a Canadian who doesn't get that stuff regularly, I will get me some Chick-fil-A. I like to go on Sundays specifically to get the best chicken.
Well,
I've never been to a Del Taco. I never will.
Oh, it's so
because they don't have them out here. Yeah,
they don't have them out here. No, not at all. It's like
because we live in the East where people hate the life.
Right. No, I go there all the time in California.
Jeez. Nice.
Yep. And I apologize to everybody in the East, including myself. So,
and I'm not upset. I could care less about the whole Guy Fieri restaurants being open after seeing what he did this weekend. I don't give a damn about the guy anymore. Screw him.
So I guess you're not bringing your Guy Fieri cosplay.
Yeah, and I can act like an asshole.
Well, you do that without the cosplay.
Anyway,
it was a Mexican restaurant, wasn't it? Mexican fusion place. I went there. It was all right.
Oh, it's the worst Mexican food I've ever had.
Okay. Well, maybe I was really drunk on margaritas, so everything tasted fantastic. I can't remember. It was 2017.
I know a great place that you have to go to.
Yes.
And I'll tell you now, and anybody who's going to Vegas should go to this place. It's called El Segundo Sol. It's at the Fashion Show Mall next or across from Wynn and next door to Treasure Island.
Yeah.
It is by far one of the best Mexican restaurants in Vegas for tourists. And I say that because everybody who lives in Vegas off the strip is probably going to say, no. You want to go to this hole in the wall place. And I totally endorse that. Mm-hmm. But if you're in Vegas and you want to go someplace on the strip, this place has tables right on the strip.
Yeah.
Right across from the Wynn. Everything is fantastic. We go just about every year that we've been to Vegas.
Nice.
And I can't say enough about it.
I'm not a huge Mexican fan, and I love going there. It's great.
Yeah.
I really like, what is it called? It's like the new MGM. It's by New York. It's like a
Hollywood
newer
Studios. Sorry.
No, it's like it's got MGM in the title, but it's like Market. I don't know. There was like a new hotel that was over down that way by New York, and it had a really great restaurant in it called Best Friends, and it's by a famous. Oh, fuck. Never mind. I can't remember. I can't remember his name. I can't remember his name, but he did that show on Netflix with Jon Favreau, a chef, and does like Korean fusion, and it's really good. They have really good ramen, and it's called Best Friends. And we went there, and it was awesome.
I think it's at Park MGM.
Park MGM. Thank you.
Monte Carlo.
That's right. That's where it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a really good place in that new hotel, that really tall one that's downtown. What is that? Circa?
Yes.
Yeah, there was a really great restaurant that I went to in there too. So, but usually I'm pretty easygoing with my food. I don't really Especially at STLV, I don't have time to eat. That I'm usually just like, where can I just grab a slice of pizza or a pretzel or like I got things to do. I got drinks to have. I got slots to play. I got people to talk to.
Do you play the slots when you go?
Yeah, sometimes if I just want to get a free drink and sit down because my feet are sore.
Oh, that's good.
I hear that.
Yeah.
If they get those Star Trek slots, I'll play a little bit.
Oh, those were fun. Yeah, I like those ones. Or The Walking Dead sometimes are fun. And
totally.
Yeah.
I think there was a Jaws slot when I was there in March, not at Rio, but at one of the hotels I walked by.
Ooh,
dude, they have a slot machine for just about everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The Hangover, Sex and the City.
Bill and Dan.
Yes, we have our own slot machine.
Yep.
It's called Am I Going to Smother Dan with a Pillow While He's Sleeping? And I'm the only winner.
Jackpot.
I love it.
Wow. Anyway, that took a turn.
It got dark. It got really dark.
Fast. So, I know we talked about this for the Patreons, and so it'll be really interesting when this comes out, what we know about the reality of STLV, because there is a possible strike coming. But let's pretend that it does not affect STLV in any way, and tell us about what you're excited about most in terms of who's attending so far. Like, is there anybody that's showing up this year that you've never seen before that you're really excited to try and maybe get an autograph or see them on stage?
Bill?
Dan, go ahead.
All right. Todd Stashwick.
Yeah.
I loved him in Picard. He was awesome. He was funny. He was gritty. And
sexy.
Everybody hated him in the first episode, and I loved him. And
I loved him.
He is a nerd just like we are. He plays D&D and all kinds of stuff. I can't wait to meet that guy and shake his hand. What a great job he did.
Excited. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good one.
I have to agree 100%.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to actually getting to meet Michelle Hurd, which we've never done.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I love everything she did as Raffi on Picard.
Fantastic character.
She just, I love that her character has a complete arc in Picard.
And
I think that's the most important thing, because not every character gets that in Star Trek. I mean, let's be honest.
It's funny.
She went from conspiracy theorist to first officer of the Starship Enterprise, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing because we've talked about how Nog probably had the greatest character arc in Star Trek, at least in Deep Space Nine. And I got to put, even though it was only 3 seasons, she's got just as great an arc as Nog did, with what she, like Bill said, conspiracy theorist, drug addict, alcoholic, living in the desert in a shack. Nobody believed her, loses her family, and then look where she ends up at the end. She was right about everything. It was a great storyline, and she portrayed it so great. And that's one of the things I'm excited about, is to talk to her about it.
Absolutely. I'm also excited to see Terry Matalas.
Yes.
Yeah, same here.
First of all, the guy's got 2 DeLoreans. I mean, I love that. I'm going to see how much he's willing to sell one, because it's been on Brad's list to try and get one of those forever. We've come close to a few barn finds in Calgary and some other places, but there's always someone a little bit quicker to the draw to get one of those bad boys. But
if you go to Pine Valley, there's a cave, and there might be one in there from when they went back to the Old West.
Okay,
and you might be able to grab it.
Shut your mouth. Shut it. Shut it.
Just zip it.
Sorry.
Zip it good.
Is there anybody you're going to get a photo with or get an autograph? Do you guys ever try and do that kind of thing if you have time?
So last year I got screwed out of getting autographs from Jess Bush, Melissa Navia, and actually I did get Celia Rose Gooding.
Yep.
That was the only one I got because of the way Creation was doing autographs. We had to leave to go set up for our party on the Friday of last convention weekend.
Yeah.
And they were cutting the line off at a particular point because they had to go be on a panel. And it's like, well, you can come back later. And it's like, no, I actually can't. So then I was out those tickets. But come hell or high water, I'm getting autographs from Strange New World cast members, even though I don't have a job right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like almost Creation's got a little bit of, somebody may have put a little curse on them or something, and they need to start burning some sage at their offices, because not only did they get obviously affected by COVID-19, but last year was a bit of a hot dumpster fire with the organization in general. I mean, the Bally's was not an ideal location, and the scheduling was a disaster, and even just the simple art of lining people up to get photo ops or whatever the case may be was chaos. And and then now facing what possibly could be a strike, and which would have an impact on the guests. It's like, damn, it's 2023, guys. Can we catch a break sometime soon? Like,
I almost always order autographs ahead of time from their website. I haven't done that yet, and I don't know if I'm going to. But I've got the poster from Strange New Worlds that I want to continue to fill up. And Bill pointed me in the direction of a wonderful Enterprise print. It was from the Star Trek store, wasn't it, Bill? That we got that Enterprise D print from.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so I'm going to bring that, and I'm trying to decide if I'm going to get TNG Cast to do it, or if I'm going to try to get Picard Cast to sign it, because it does say Picard on the bottom corner of it, so it's technically a Picard poster, even though it's the wall art pretty much from Picard's Red Room on the Enterprise D. So I'm kind of deciding how I want to deal with that one, but I am planning on getting at least a couple autographs. I really don't know if I'm going to get any photo ops this year. I haven't really much thought into that.
Yeah, I pre-purchased my Jerry Ryan autograph and Ed Steelers.
Nice.
And I'm hoping to find a photo of the two of them at the end of the final Picard when they're sitting side by side on the Enterprise. That would be a good one to have them both sign it if I can. And I'm thinking when I'm there, I will get Todd's autograph and maybe Terry's for sure. Yeah.
Todd's awesome. He might have been the best. New face that we saw. I mean, everybody was so great in Picard, but his the way that he portrayed that character, and the fact that it's based off of Jaws a little bit, just is another reason to love it even more.
It says a lot about his skills as an actor to join such an iconic cast and to still stand out as a fan favorite, because the show is called Picard, and you've got Sir Patrick fucking Stewart, and this guy's still getting a lot of buzz. Deservedly so. Like, I loved that character the minute I saw him, because I was just like, that's what I like about the Picard series in general. It's not bubblegum, cookie cutter, everything's perfect. Raffi is the perfect proof of that. And even the story arc of what Seven of Nine had been through, et cetera, et cetera. So this guy's sitting there just being like, who the fuck are you guys? Like, I know who you are. I get it. But like, this is my ship. No. Oh my God. I love it.
Yeah.
So good. The party.
Party's gonna be fun. Just the location makes me want to get up and dance.
That is exciting.
Do it right now.
Yeah. And
you didn't get up.
You had great interactions with that place and setting it all up. Hey. They were super stoked to have you call.
They are very excited to have us, and they're gonna make it work for us, and it's gonna be awesome. That place is gonna be jam packed. What did we sell out in 12 minutes this year, Bill?
Taylor Swift style. I mean,
it was like 18 or something like that. Yeah, we put the first 200 tickets to the party available, a couple of months ago, and they, like Dan said, they sold out. They're free tickets, but they sold out in about 18 minutes, which is the fastest it's ever happened before.
Wow.
Back in February, the Fansets guys went to Vegas and toured like a dozen different places to find a new home for the party, because last year's was fucking terrible.
A joke.
Yeah.
Joke.
So they went to Millennium Fandom and met with the owner, Alex, and it was amazing. They felt like it was where the party belonged. And it's nerd central. I mean, they have all kinds of nerd themed parties all year long.
Yeah.
They were totally jazzed and on board to bring this party to Millennium Fandom. And honestly, it's probably the venue we should have done from day one, but now we get to do it for all future parties, which will be fantastic.
Yeah.
And who are the special guests that we're going to have there?
Dan? Well, I got some special guests. The one and only John Billingsley will be there, of course, who has become such dear friends with him, even though he is kind of a hack. And of course, Bonnie Gordon from Star Trek Prodigy. May they find a place to live very soon. And then, of course, the top billing, I got to think is the wonderful and talented Michelle Hurd, who we have already been talking about here. That is huge. Bill reached out to her while I was dealing with the passing of my mom, and she replied with one of the most gracious emails I think we have ever seen, Bill, and her excitement for being part of this. So if everything goes well with what's going on in Hollywood right now and she's there, it is going to be a night to remember. I cannot wait for that. It's going to be great.
So the first half of the party is going to be a live recording of Trek Geeks, the podcast, with Bonnie and John and Michelle.
And
we've never done that before in that kind of venue. No, not you. Sorry, your agent said no. We got turned down.
Frank.
I know, Frank.
Talking to the dog.
Then we're going to have a little halftime show with Bonnie Gordon singing some songs. And she's always a crowd favorite. She's performed at Millennium Fandom many times. So it's a venue that she knows, and it's going to be great. And then the last half of the party is going to be the biggest giveaway of fan sets pins that we have ever done in the history of this party.
Oh my God.
We've never given away more, and we're going to play all kinds of trivia and do all kinds of ticket pulls.
Yeah.
And the party ends when it ends.
Yeah.
No amazing.
Yep.
And do you need help? How can I help? Because if you guys are going to be doing
help,
you let me know, because I will obviously be there.
Yes.
And I can be there early to help set up. I can be there as a bouncer to keep people in line. I can be your hero, baby.
Maybe you could bring Dan a slice of watermelon. I don't know.
I can bring slices of watermelon. Yeah. I could bring martinis to the stage.
I would love that. That is what I will hire you for. That is your job.
Bring drinks to you guys, or Jaeger bombs, or I'll find something really gross. Oh, drop funny, shots,
I dropped an email to Bonnie yesterday, actually, and she replied about how excited she was that it's going to be at Millennium Fandom. And she's like, oh, and I'll be able to do some songs. And then I said, oh, yeah, we already have you scheduled for that. You're doing the halftime show. And she's all up for it. She's excited about it. So
awesome.
It's going to be pretty awesome. Yeah.
Love it.
It's going to be cool.
Can't wait.
And
I don't want to give anything away, and I won't, but we have seen the list of what the giveaways are going to be from fan sets. And it is fucking unbelievable. It is. I wish that I wasn't an employee so I could partake in winning stuff.
Now, for those that are listening who haven't attended one of these parties before, but are one of the lucky few that have got a ticket, how do the giveaways work? Is there trivia questions? Is it just drawing a name from a hat? What is this? You throw in an egg at somebody, if it hits and sticks, they win it? Like
all of that. Yeah.
Cool.
We're bringing 12 dozen eggs just for that purpose.
It's going to smell awesome.
Well, eventually we'll be long gone by the time that happens. But no, it's a series of Stump the Geek trivia questions, except instead of trying to stump Dan, people have to answer the question to win a prize.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're also like, like door prize ticket pulls type thing.
Awesome.
So intermittently, we'll call out a number, and whoever has that ticket gets that particular prize. So that's kind of the way we've done it the last few years. Right. Last year was kind of hijacked a little bit, but we're going to right the ship this year and make it the best damn party ever.
And now, is this place going to be closed to the general public?
Don't know, but I don't know that matters.
Yeah, I don't think it matters either because just the nature of the place. I don't think it's going to be a problem. Now, I will say, go ahead, Sarah. Yep.
No, you can go ahead and then I'll follow up with my next question.
I was going to say, for all the amount of stuff that's being given away, of course, not everybody's going to win something, but everybody is going to walk away with something, because as we have every year, the Fan Geeks party, we have a special Fan Geeks party pin that we're going to have available for everybody who is there, which is always a huge hit. I mean, people love that pin. So I'm excited about it. And that'll be something that you'll be getting as soon as you walk in the door. You'll be handed your Fan Geeks party pin 2023.
Yeah. And so that's my question, is when you walk through the door, you're like, I got the golden ticket, got my pin. Is there hostesses that are going to be seating based on maybe a table of 5 or 4? Or people able to make reservations? Or is it a seat yourself? And is there food?
You can't make reservations. I think it's pretty much just sort of general admission. Once you get there. You sit where you find a spot. As far as food, I actually don't know. I don't know if they have a menu or not.
I do think they're going to have some, I don't know, maybe finger foods might be the right word. Appetizers, maybe. I think. I'm not 100% positive.
Appetizers,
yes. And they will have, of course, they do have drinks, obviously. It's the Millennium Fandom bar. But I want to say that he did say something about food. So.
All right.
So we'll see as I take a sip of my martini, actually, as we're sitting here talking. It's going to be fantastic. And it's basically, it is not a humongous location. So there's going to be crowded, and they're going to have probably some stand-up tables here and there. There'll be a lot of standing room only, I think. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of seating available. which is okay.
I'm looking at their page right now, and I see they have a Instagram, so I'm just going to click follow on that because
Absolutely.
why not?
Yep.
I know I've looked into it before, having wanted to stop in there and check it out, but I hadn't done it. Oftentimes when I go to Vegas in the fall for the SEMA car, we're staying downtown, so it's always one of those things of like, can I wrangle the cats to freaking come somewhere cool and stop talking about cars for 5 goddamn minutes and maybe talk about space, something cool? My God.
They also have an overflow room at Millennium Fandom, which, there's been talk that we may be in the main bar area, but for all I know, that could change by the time we get there, and we could be in their annex out back, which is a larger space. But I think either way, there might be some overflow between the two rooms.
Right.
Are you able to divulge what the capacity is? I mean, if you've given away 200 tickets, then you're going to have yourselves and guests, and then you're going to have like come to the booth at the beginning of the convention for a ticket. What's the guesstimate on how much space we're going to take up if it's a small spot?
I don't know what the venue's capacity is. It's not that it's a small spot. It's just that we're going to pack it with people.
Yeah.
There theoretically will be as many as 300 attendees, which the venue said they can easily accommodate.
Awesome. That's great.
So that's all that matters. Yeah. It's not that the place is tiny, like the very first place we went to.
Yeah. What was that place called? Something.
Oh, it had 2 different names.
That's right.
But it's out of business now, and that's probably for the best. But we probably could have packed even more Trekkies in there, but we don't want to overdo things for the Millennium Fandom staff.
Well, right?
Because they've got only so many people, I'm sure. And obviously we want to comply with any fire code.
Absolutely.
Because we don't want the venue to get in trouble. So he said, if we get 250 to 300 people, that's perfect. So that's kind of the ballpark we're shooting for. And I imagine we'll have probably about that number, and it's going to be a great crowd.
I can't wait. I can't wait. That's going to be awesome. You guys have done a fantastic job already. So I will say thank you in advance for all the hard work and for what's going to be a fantastic night.
We love it because it's being together with the Trek family in a way that you don't get at the convention site. Yeah. We've touted this as being the biggest Star Trek party on the Strip for years, and it really has turned into that. I think.
I think so.
It's going to be fantastic.
Getting bigger and bigger every year.
For a while, it was the only Star Trek party on the Strip because nobody wanted to. In fact, we first started the party. People say, "Oh, you'll never get people to attend," because it's away from the Rio.
They don't want to leave the Rio. Yeah,
they don't want to leave the Rio, and we packed the house the very first year. So we said, "Okay, let's keep doing this," and so we did. And technically, I mean, we're still on Las Vegas Boulevard, so technically it's the Strip. But even though we're just a half a block off the Strip, so
hi, Frank. Frankie, what's up?
Who's that, bud?
He's
big
bored.
yawn.
He's not bored.
He's always bored.
Okay. He's a good pop.
How come I'm not getting any attention? Why are you talking to these guys? What a nerd.
Oh my God, that's exactly what Arya does to me.
Yeah, you got to keep scratching.
Yep.
He's got a lot of neck.
Don't stop.
A lot of neck that needs some scratching. The booth. Do you have anything special? Any surprises at the booth? Is there going to be...
Dan will be there.
Yeah, tell me all about
it. That is a surprise.
I don't think we have any surprises planned, Bill. I know that we're going to be there. We are bringing our recording equipment so that we can do recordings. If people come by and we want to have a discussion, if any of this talent come by and want to have a discussion, we're going to be ready to go so that we can catch them on mic. But other than that, it's just going to be doing what we like to do, which is talking to the fans and the listeners and having a great time with our Star Trek family, because we only get to do it once a year.
There's so many people out there in Star Trek fandom who still have no idea what a podcast is.
Yeah.
And we've gotten it at every show that we've been to, even at Mission Chicago. People are like, what's a podcast? I don't, what do you do with it? How much does it cost me? So, it's part of its education, but we'll see. We usually walk away with introducing a few people to podcasts, and I look forward to that part in particular.
Absolutely. The only thing it costs you is your sanity if you're going to listen to Trek Geeks.
No kidding. Yeah. We are not responsible for therapy.
Yeah, God, be careful with those early episodes of Rewind. Jesus. Even Haley and I are scared to go back and listen, but I'm thinking I should do a best of clips and do like a reveal where we react.
Is there really a best of, though? I'm just kidding.
Wow. What a dick.
That was a total dick thing. I
Wow.
just want to see the reaction. I'm just kidding.
Every episode is the best of Rewind.
There's nothing better
this
than
guy.
Rewind on this
A-hole.
network. It's
the worst.
Rewind.
Wow, why do you got diss all the
Everything
other
else.
shows?
It's Rewind, everything else, and then Trek Geeks. pretty much.
Why are you trashing all the other shows too, Dan?
Yeah.
To the when I'm on the other show, I'll say the thing about them that they're
Yeah.
at the top, and then it's just
This is being recorded, you moron.
they all know I love them all. There's no ranking here at Trek Geeks, none at all.
Well, I can't wait to get there. I'm gonna be hanging out at the booth if you let me.
Absolutely.
Let you. We're making you.
Okay, even better. Put me to work. We'll chat. We'll bug people. We'll give them a hard time.
Go get me some chicken.
We'll sneak some flasks in, and
Absolutely.
or we'll do
Already packed
runs to
mine.
the bar. Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Awesome.
Sounds good to me.
That's
Awesome.
happening.
Anything else Vegas related that you're excited for, or thoughts, or
Just gonna get here
Plans,
fast
any-
enough.
I know.
Yeah. I can't wait
It's
to
a-
put up our new banner, dude. That's going to be fantastic.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. It's some high class looking stuff, and it's amazing that it's ours.
Yeah. See that thing
It
from
looks
across the
pretty
room?
rad. Last year's looked good. Don't get me wrong.
Mhm.
The person who designed that did an amazing job. But this year's is
really
next
did.
level, 3-dimensional even.
Exactly.
Whew.
Yeah. Can't lean
I don't
up
think-
against it. Put your hand right through it.
That's
Someone's
like
gonna
the
go
face.
through it like the Kool-Aid man.
Right. I like that idea.
Or Dan's hand will start disappearing like in Back to the Future. Whoa. Hey, we've made full circle there.
Oh my God, that's
I
perfect.
did that. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Listeners, we would love to take a moment of your time to discuss our fabulous sponsors, Fansets. You know them, you love them, and I have a few new releases to update you on. 14 new items will be at the show in Las Vegas, including an original series set and an Archer with glitter. I saw too there's a super cool Klingon communicator, among other really great stuff. So get on over to fansets.com. If you can't be there in Vegas, use our special discount code TrekGeeks, one word, all caps locks, at the checkout to get yourself 10% off your entire order. I cannot wait to see these fabulous people in person in Las Vegas. Always a pleasure. I know I'm going to end up buying way too many pins. Can't wait. Bring it on. Fansets. Our pins have character.
So we have something else really important to talk about.
Do we, Rip? Do we? though?
Do we?
One of the greatest movies of all time,
We're talking
Citizen
about
Kane?
Jaws?
Star Trek Insurrection.
Citizen Kane. Did you say Citizen Kane?
I did. It's one of the greatest movies of all time.
I've never seen
Rosebud.
it. I've never seen it.
Well, there's your homework.
I'm not going to watch it.
I haven't seen
I'll tell you that
Mary
right now.
Poppins yet, so
I haven't seen Gone with the Wind. I haven't seen It's a Wonderful Life.
You're fired.
you're
Yeah,
fired.
Star Trek Insurrection. Okay.
So
Why do you love this movie?
That's a good question.
I think I love it because of the same reasons that I love episodes like Menage a Troy and Rascals. It's something that I loved when I was a kid or when I was younger. Although I would have been a bit older when Insurrection came out, but I think it was still that, like, what year did it come out? Do we know?
1998, I think.
1998.
Grad
Look
year.
at that.
So I was still a teenager and I thought it was funny. I thought the whole Worf's got a pimple, Deanna and Riker are having baths. There's a flotation device side story with Data that makes no sense. There's Picard dancing. You got some good skin stretching villains. All in all,
Alex Trebek.
there's nothing wrong with it. I can't think of anything that's wrong with it. It's just a good, fun way to spend an hour and 47 minutes or whatever the hell
Okay.
the time is on that.
Sarah, I love you. I've
you.
loved you since the first day we introduced you. You're a wonderful member of this Trekkies fan. There are a lot of things wrong with this movie. I like it.
Lot of things.
I like the movie. I don't love it. I like it a lot. there's some things now. First of all,
let's talk about them.
We got to get the important stuff out of the way. Of course,
All right.
screenplay by Michael Piller, story by Rick Berman and Michael Piller, directed by Frakesy himself, Jonathan Frakes, and produced by Rick Berman. And Bill, you were right. It did come out in 1998, as pretty much as late in 1998 as possible. It was released on December 7th.
I was going to say it's December 7th or 8th because I saw it on the 8th.
Excuse me, December 11th. My apologies. December 11th. So yeah.
And I saw it on the 12th. Yeah.
Yeah. So what can go wrong with a movie directed by Jonathan Frakes? Usually nothing.
Usually.
Yeah. But
I was waiting for the but because I'm like, there's got to be a but there. I mean, like,
and this is a follow up to First Contact too, right?
Yes,
and
which sadly, yes,
the best
runaway
movie.
Hit. Yes,
that's
huge
the best
runaway hit.
Yeah, that's a tough act to follow.
There are a lot of things that I like about Insurrection. I do like the ships. The special effects are fantastic. That Briar Patch is awesome. I like the Admiral. Send your ships. You knew I was going to do it at some point, Bill.
I did. I did.
But there are some aspects of it that really don't make sense. And we can, as Star Trek fans, we're going to nitpick every episode and every movie to death. There's just a lot of nitpicking that can be done in this, I think, when we're looking at the specifics. And Bill is just like drooling
I'm not
right
a
now.
specific nitpicker, but I can see that maybe you guys contributed to a lot of the little goofs and stuff that are on the Internet Movie Database. I collected a few of them, and there's a lot of little nuggets, little nuggies there that I'm like, oh my God, I did not even pay attention to that. I wasn't even sure I was watching Insurrection until I was halfway through. I thought I was still watching Voyage Home. Like,
for me, what it comes down to, and the thing I hear people say all the time, is that it's like an episode of TNG for the movies. And that's honestly the problem. I don't want it to be an episode.
Yeah,
I don't want it to be, I don't want it to be a 2-part episode with a little campy script. I want it to be a big budget, story that is along the lines of First Contact. And that for me is part of the reason why I think the film fails, simply just from the script. As much as Michael Piller is amazing and great and one of the best writers Star Trek ever had, I really think this is the weakest script to this point.
I'm glad you said that.
The Nemesis is like, hold my beer.
Well, Generations is no field trip. Let me assure you. But I think that coming off of First Contact, which did everything right, for me, I think this one did pretty much everything wrong.
Okay, that's fair. I agree. I mean, I've seen that discussion too about how it's just like an episode. It's just kind of that fluffy, like, oh, Prime Directive. Oh,
one of the things.
Yeah, Jordy can see. Yeah.
Oh, kid from Twilight.
Yeah. One of the things that I always found very interesting is, and in a bad way, I got to say, is first of all, this is the first and only time we have seen a real life Admiral Janeway. I was betting the house that we were going to see you in Picard season 3. Didn't get to see her. So we get to see Admiral Janeway in this one. And one of the things that just struck me hysterically is that she goes and tells Picard that he always gets the tough jobs. And she talks about the Romulans and the Borg, and then says the Sona. I'm sorry. There is nothing remotely scary about taking over the galaxy from the Sona, but whatsoever. So I found it very interesting that they were touted to be as dangerous as they were when we never heard of them. They had one ship and one crazy guy.
It would have been more believable to have had the Tribbles taking over all of Starfleet, because there's been always the jokes about how the Klingons don't like them. I mean, actually, you know what? If Terry's listening, Terry, I got an idea for you for a movie if you want to do one. The Tribbles, the ultimate villain. Let's do this. We saw a glimpse of what they could look like in that one Picard episode. Didn't they have fangs?
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Genetically engineered one. Yeah.
That's right.
Let's do it.
It's interesting because they had the potential for it to be pretty big. I mean, they got F. Murray Abraham to play Ruafo. They got Anthony Zeri playing the Admiral. Anish was Donna Murphy.
Donna Murphy.
Big names to go along with the cast. And it really had potential. I just felt that it did not live up to that potential very much at all.
Don't forget the dude from Hardcastle and McCormick is one of the other Baku. Daniel Hugh Kelly.
I don't.
Yeah, that's how much of an
remember
impression he
anything
made
about
on
that.
Dan.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
even remember that show back when I was a kid. So,
Wow.
but yeah, they had everything in place for it. I mean, you got, as I said, you got Frakes directing, you got the cast coming off an incredible success.
Mm-hmm.
You get a great Jerry Goldsmith score.
Yeah,
Ooh, the
absolutely.
music in the opening.
The music is fantastic in this movie.
I don't like the opening theme.
No, fuck, man. Get the fuck out of here.
The score itself for the movie is pretty great. I don't like the opening theme because First Contact's theme is probably my favorite.
Yeah,
It's so sweeping and amazing. It's epic, and then you get to this is like do.
I know. I felt like all I needed was like a feather, and it would be like the opening scene of like Forrest Gump.
Yes, yes.
That's awesome.
That'd be a good funny video to do on YouTube. Is to do a superimpose a feather over that opening scene, and then just have like Forrest Gump sitting on one of the benches in the backdrop when they're first like seeing the planet. Oh my god! If I had technical abilities, I would totally make that.
There are some things that work, Bill. I think maybe
what?
I don't know.
Like what?
I'm saying this tongue in cheek, of course, when I ask you that question, because hey, let's put a joystick on the bridge of the Enterprise and let's just fly the ship around that way. I'm much more. It's much more believable watching Melissa Navia do her work on the Enterprise in Strange New Worlds with just a flat panel than being able to control the Enterprise E with a joystick.
We're through running from these bastards.
It's fun, but it's just kind of like, oh boy, kind of campy.
That's the thing, and that's my big problem with Star Trek V is that this movie regresses the characters and creates camp. Now, literally, it regresses the characters because Worf starts getting pimples, which is really weird.
It is a gorge.
Yeah, it's dumb, is what it is. And
Mommy, it's cute. I like that.
Yeah, it might have been cute during the series, like season 1.
Yeah,
that's a good punchline. But I think that Michael Piller was writing for television, and they decided to make it a movie.
Well, you always never do anything small, do you?
Right? Smooth as an android's bottom, eh, Data?
Oh no. Love it. I love those one-liners. They're just funny to me.
Any movie where you take away Riker's beard should be an automatic half a star.
That was disappointing
as a rating. Yeah.
Now,
go ahead.
No. We've heard way too much of Bill and I so far.
Yeah, way too much.
Come on, it's your show.
Well, I mean, there's two ways I can go with this. I did pull a little bit of fast facts and goofs.
I love fast facts,
as I usually do with Haley, so I can read up those. And then I have a couple of questions I'm going to pose to you guys to put you on the spot, and I think it's going to be fantastic. So let me just take a look and see what I got here for some of these little fast facts. Okay, number 1. Captain Picard was originally going to kill Data in this film, a decision fully supported by Brent Spiner, who felt he was getting too old to play the character. This was vetoed by Sir Patrick Stewart. Spiner's script came with a note reading, "Better luck next time."
That's so Brent.
That's fun. Marina Sirtis admitted that she fell asleep during the premiere. That kind of says
she's
it all.
not alone. Yeah.
Wow.
Here's a goof. When Data and Picard beam back up to the Enterprise after jumping into the Baku Lake, Data's uniform is dry while Picard's is still soaked.
So stupid.
Where's the continuity person?
That could be used as a personal flotation device.
No, I think what happened in that is the transporter chief thought that Data's pattern was actually Picard, and he wanted Picard's uniform to be dry, so he manipulated the transporter buffer, but he got the people screwed up, so it was Data who was dry and Picard who was...
Yeah, okay, nerd.
See?
Well, speaking of the flotation device, when he says that, in the event of an emergency, my body can be used as a flotation device, he then rises above the water as if he's inflating, but the platform that raises him higher in the water is visible through the water underneath.
It absolutely is.
And then we have a scene where they're blasting through the cave wall. A tree falls over at the side, and Picard and Data both look at it, and then it's standing up again in the next scene. Was anybody paying attention? I love it. Maybe this was a disaster of a film. When Picard is first meeting with the Baku, there are children playing like a hacky sack kind of game in the background, but during 2 short shots, the children can be seen making kicking motions, but there's no hacky sacks to be seen.
Because it was edited in with CGI.
Yes.
and
Nobody
it
can
looks
do a
so
hacky
bad.
sack that good.
No.
No.
I wonder if they did the same thing for Will Ferrell in The Office when he's doing his.
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, they had to.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, he was doing it without, anyways. So
Well, there actually is a video on YouTube where somebody edited in the balls.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, it's not as funny, I don't think, but it is a great editing job.
It'd be funny if they did like cats or something like that.
Chainsaws.
Yeah, pizzas.
What's happening?
In the beginning of the movie, after Picard, Riker, Troy, and Crusher enter the turbolift, the turbolift doors close and the reflection of the camera can be seen in the shiny turbolift door label.
That's awful.
Yep.
Here's a good error. I bet you both know this one. Troy comments that she's never kissed Riker with a beard before. Yet Troy has kissed bearded Riker in Menage a Troy, 1990, as well as in several other occasions on Star Trek The Next Generation, 1987.
Yuck.
Right?
And it's amazing how that makes it through into the final script.
Yeah. Wouldn't even like Marina be like, what the fuck is this?
All right. I don't want to be critical of the people that did them back in the day, but I will say this is why what we have now with Picard and Lower Decks and Strange New Worlds is so great, because the people that are running these shows are just as anal retentive fans as we are, and they make sure that stuff like that does not get through. So kudos to them. Mm-hmm. If they were around back in the 90s, probably stuff like that wouldn't have happened.
There's a lot of things that shouldn't have happened in the 90s when it comes to the television storylines, especially for women. Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are your breasts feeling firmer? Fuck off. Okay, that line does kind of bug me. It's like, come on, you got other things you can talk about. But
no, mine are not. Sorry.
I know. I wish. While at the lake. Okay, here we go with the flotation shit again. Okay. While at the lake, Data says he was designed as a flotation device. This is not true. This is false. In Descent Part 2, 1993, Geordi reminisces about when he and Data went sailing on Davala Lake, and Data decided to go swimming, jumped out of the boat, and sank straight to the bottom. Because of his lack of buoyancy, Data was forced to walk 1.46 kilometers along the bottom of the lake to get back to the surface. Even if he had altered his body to accomplish this task, he was not designed that way by Soong.
I agree completely.
Very nice.
Busted.
The one that gets me, and this may be on your list, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, I'm sorry, is when he's underwater and he pokes at the fish, you can see a tube that's like underneath the fake skin of Data.
Yes!
I think it's probably going in the side of his mouth that you can't see.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Yeah,
because he's kind of smirking like,
oh my God, I love it.
It's just, it does not look good.
It's great. It looks fantastic. It's what makes this movie campy, and that's why I like it. I don't like it because it's a good Star Trek film. I like it because it's a hot mess of just like, I just love it. It's like, look at how cute they are trying to make a movie.
And I think that's why I dog on Star Trek 5 so much, is that, if you look at Star Treks 2, 3, and 4, they were a fantastic trilogy with a lot of character growth. And Star Trek 5, reduces Chekhov and Sulu to teenage boys who are horny, essentially. Right. You look at this movie and, Data becomes a punchline in almost every scene he's in. And there's way too many jokes. I think for me, the best scene of the movie is when Geordi gets to see the sunrise.
Yeah.
I think it's the most emotional, and he gets to share that with Picard. I think it's such a great moment for those characters. Yeah. But I think it's wasted in this putrid mess of a movie. Other than that, I have no strong feelings.
No, there are some good lines. I mean, when Picard is giving his speech, how many people does it take, Admiral? I mean, I think that's a good moment. I like that. I do like some of F. Murray Abraham's lines. I don't know why on earth they decided to have a couch from the late 60s be his bridge chair, but that's okay. I guess they wanted to have a little TOS in there again. I don't know.
That was a nod to the original, some of the original concept art for Next Gen. Because the original thought was there wouldn't be a captain's chair. Maybe there's like a sofa.
Thank God that they didn't do that in TNG, because that is just, it's awful. One of the things that I've always had a hard time with in this movie, and I've talked about it, I think, when we talked about Insurrection, Bill, in our show, the Enterprise E is pretty technologically advanced. I mean, it doesn't run on triple D batteries or anything like that. And they can beam people from, in orbit of a planet, they can beam them down to the planet's surface without a problem whatsoever. Why did they have to be like 20 meters away from the crew on the solar ship before they were able to beam them up?
Because the radiation.
I don't buy that for a second.
I do.
No, I don't like it. Not going there.
Well, nobody cares what you like because you suck.
Okay, I got 2 more of these goofs, guys. Let's just get back to the fun stuff.
Wow,
before you
sorry,
get into a
sorry.
fight.
Oh, he interrupted.
Sorry,
you.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, please. My guests are allowed to do whatever they want. At 2254, when Picard first meets the Baku, he first introduces Dr. Crusher and then Counselor Troy. Counselor Troy nods first, and then Dr. Crusher, as that is the order they are standing. Patrick Stewart says the names out of sequence, and Marina Sirtis and Case McFadden end up responding to the wrong character names.
I never noticed that.
Classic.
I've never noticed that.
Go back and watch
Never
it.
noticed that.
Oh my god.
Do I have to?
No. And you can also look for this. When the Admiral goes to talk to Captain Picard, there is a kidnapped Baku woman smiling and laughing along with another unseen actor. But when we see them again, she appears as a victim again. So somebody wasn't ready for a.
Maybe she
now
was watching
rolling.
Insurrection.
Oh, wow.
Classic. All right. Well, let's put that one to bed. That will save you the despair of talking about that. But I have a question for you.
Yeah.
If you could, and I'm gonna extend this along to the other worlds of Star Trek. What would you have a good idea for a Star Trek movie that would have been a TNG cast movie? Do you have an idea, or instead for maybe a Deep Space Nine? What could have been a good story, or Voyager? Is there anything that, since you obviously have some real strong feelings about ones that you've loved versus ones that you've not loved, any scripts rolling through those brains?
I actually, way back in the day when Bill and I worked at a investment firm together, years, and when we first became friends.
In technology.
Let's be clear. Yes. We were in the technology aspect. I started writing a novel. And Bill's going to hate this. He knows about it, but I wrote a novel of what happened to Yar with the whole yesterday's Enterprise and how she was captured by the Romulans and was forced to have a child. I started the whole, I think I got through like a chapter, and then it just went away, and I never worked on it. I don't know how big a blockbuster movie that would be, but that was something that I had toyed with back in the day.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. So it would have been a Sela novel, which I'm sure Bill would not have been happy with.
I would have burned
Sela,
it.
excuse me. Sela.
Yeah. I say, who's Sela?
Sela. Take
Super
it
Come
fan.
away.
sail away. Come sail away. That's what
Superfan 1701 over
Sorry,
there.
I've been practicing my German on Duolingo, so I get my accents all screwed up.
Shut up and eat your watermelon. That's not the first time he's heard that either. I actually don't have an idea like that. And that's because I and this is my own thing that I have to get over. I don't think I'm particularly creative in that endeavor. I can watch something and know how it should progress. I can recognize that characters are being progressed or regressed or congressed, if you want to call it that, because that's the opposite of progress. But
Very nice.
thank you. I'll be here all week. Please tip your waitress. Have an old fashioned. But I struggle at times with original ideas, not because I feel like it's already been done before, but because I always in the back of my head say, "No, that sucks. That's not good enough." So that's kind of my own thing to get over. Dan has certainly done more with that regard than I ever have. That's why I stick to talking about Star Trek, because that I know I can do. I do it anyway.
Yep.
So
and you do a damn good job at it too.
Oh, thanks, Coach.
Yeah. I've also always wanted to do a backstory about Gul Dukat when he was running the occupation.
I was just going to say, I would love to see a Cardassian-led movie.
My all-time favorite Star Trek villain is Gul Dukat. I just think that Mark did a fantastic job portraying that guy. And, sort of like it would be great to see if he would do something like what Andy Robinson did and did a novel about Garrick, which is coming out on audio in the next several months, read by Andy Robinson, which is going to be just fantastic. But I would love if Mark did something like that. But Gul Dukat's such an intriguing and complicated character. That would be something I would love to do.
I think that there's a series, like a 3-season series, all about the occupation. I think you could go dark, you could go super dark, and have it be a torturous, terrible reality about what that experience was for the Bajorans and for them, and make it like I think that'd be a fantastic TV show. I'd watch it. It wouldn't
like
be for the
podcasting
kids.
with Dan Davidson.
Right?
Yeah.
Nothing's that hard.
I just think they're a really great villain that didn't get utilized at all enough.
Yeah, but it's just in those episodes he's in, he's memorable.
I'm gonna have to watch some more Space Nine.
We're going way off on tangents, but that's something I had actually hoped for a split second, that when we knew that the founders were involved in Picard season 3, that maybe somehow Dukat was somehow involved, brought back some way by the Pa race, but of course it didn't make sense for a Deep Space Nine villain to be the main antagonist in a TNG series. So
well, and you can't have the Pa race without Cisco,
right? Exactly.
Because DS9 is all about the darkness and the light.
Yep.
You have to have. You can't have the Pa race without the emissary,
right?
Because it's both halves of the equation. And Avery Brooks is never coming back to Star Trek. So, plus, I mean, Mark Alimo's 81.
Amazing.
I don't think he's putting on the Dukat makeup anytime soon.
Nope. I don't think so.
Nope.
Well. Anyway.
Sarah, what about you? You must have some kind of story idea. I mean, you posed that question to us. I'm going to throw it right back at you. So there.
Well, like I said, the Cardassians would be, I think there's a lot to explore there that I would be super stoked to see. Other idea I ever had, and I've shared this before on the podcast, I think, is something along the lines of you wouldn't even really know you're watching Star Trek until like 5 seasons in, or into like an hour or two into the movie, because it's about like a post-apocalyptic, dark, think of a Nurse Ratched kind of character, people struggling to stay alive, to become better and better, and it's the birth of the Borg. It's a planet where this is where it started. You have a mad scientist who's trying to here's some genetic things, here's this, it'll make you better, and how you just warp this race into becoming the supervillain. Like the birth of the Borg, I think would be a really cool story, because we don't really have any idea about how they started.
Actually,
or do we?
Actually, it's not canon, but it is in a novel. There was a series of novels that came out about a decade ago. And at the end of it, it was the Federation was alongside, and I don't remember if they were fighting against or alongside an alien race, and a bunch of them got thrown back in time, like way back. And this alien race was part robotic, or not robotic, but cybernetic. And they eventually took over and kind of consumed the Federation people that they were stranded with, and the Federation became the first Borg, which is an incredible, like, oh my god, that's like incredible to think of. So yeah, but that's not canon, but that's what happened in the books.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that would be good.
Pretty cool. Yep.
Yeah. Other than that, I can't think of anything. I mean, nothing really stands out.
I'd love to do a movie about the Binars. No, I wouldn't. I'm just kidding. Come on, Bill. That was kind of funny.
I'd love to do a follow-up to the Sona. No, I wouldn't.
That was funny.
A kids animated movie all about Spot and the dog from Enterprise coming together. Porthos, tour, the Incredible Journey, Space Edition.
Space Edition. I like that.
Who does the human voices of the animals?
Oh my god. You gotta get like Christopher Walken for the cat. I don't know.
We're going at warp 9.
Yes. And then like Andy Samberg for the dog or something like that.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
All right. I have nothing else to say.
I just want to say, I was just kidding about the whole thing. I love Insurrection. It's one of my favorite movies.
You're so full of shit. You just don't want the hate mail.
No, I know it's not the best movie, but let's all admit it. Bill, you'll admit it too. If it's on, it's Star Trek. We'll watch it.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's so great about Star Trek is even the ones that aren't great, you love.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I won't watch Generations.
Yeah.
Just because I hate it that much.
You do.
I do.
Kind of like Nemesis, like me. Nemesis is my Bill version of Generations. I got one thing we didn't talk about with Insurrection, so I want to bring it in now, even though it's Nemesis related. We were talking about the convention earlier, and it made me think of Nemesis, which made me think that I got to meet Rob Perlman for the first time, which was great. He is as cool as he is in Sons of Anarchy.
He was so funny on stage about telling people to come out and buy his book from the back of his car. Yep. I'll be in the parking lot. Like he was so funny.
I was doing my cosplay as Thanos when I got my photo up with Ron Perlman.
Yeah.
And I walked up and he looked at me and he was just like giving me that Ron Perlman smile with his big chin and just looking at it. And I go, dude, you would have made the best Thanos. And he looked at me, he goes, don't I fucking know it? I mean, it was just
so
great.
funny.
Now, Josh did a fantastic job as Thanos. I love Thanos. He's my favorite, one of my favorite villains. I love all the villains, it seems. But yeah, that's my Ron Perlman story.
How does that tie back to Insurrection, really?
It doesn't. We were talking about Insurrection, which made me think about Nemesis being one of the movies that I hate the most, but we're dissing on Insurrection, so I just thought I'd bring it up.
Were you at the convention when Shinzon himself was there on stage? Tom Hardy?
What year was that?
I think it was like 2012. I don't know. It was a year that I didn't go, but I had been going. So I went, maybe it was 2007. I missed that one. I went 5, 6, 8, 9.
I don't think I went to that one. I went to a few at the former Hilton, which is now the Westgate.
Yeah. It was the best.
I went the last year that the Experience was open to that con.
I was there. We didn't even know each other.
I know, right? And then I took a few years off before I went to the Rio for the first time in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been every year since.
Tom Hardy graduated and went from Nemesis all the way up to Venom. Sorry.
Wow. What a dink.
Is there any
I like Venom?
If you could, because Tom Hardy's he's a pretty big name now.
Yes.
He wasn't at the time. And Ron Perlman's a big name, and we've also had other big names like Malcolm McDowell and Christopher Lloyd and Kirstie Alley, Alfre Woodard grace the stage and support the Trek world. Is there anybody that you would love to see in the Trek universe as an actor or actress that has never done anything? Can you think of anyone who'd be a great villain or a great captain or?
Absolutely. And unfortunately, we can now never see it, and that's Lance Reddick. He would have been the most balls to the wall captain you would have ever seen in Star Trek. And he was a huge Star Trek fan. And he is an example of someone we lost way too soon, but he would be my number one pick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he would have been mine too. Yeah. I love Lance Reddick. We did an episode, a theoretical recasting of Deep Space Nine.
Yep.
God, a handful of years ago, probably, Dan.
Yeah. Long
time. We both picked Lance Reddick as our choice to recast as Benjamin Sisko.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And we tweeted that at him, and he fucking loved it.
Yep.
He's like, he would have killed for that, because I think he's the only other actor that could really pull off Sisko the way Sisko needs to be pulled off, quite honestly. And I think he would have been amazing.
Tell you what, motherfucker.
Whoa.
That's what he does. That's what he would do. He'd say
that family show.
Odo's face. That's what he'd say.
This is a family show. He's not Sam Jackson, for God's sake.
Oh my God.
Sorry, it's a little Bosch rub off there.
Bosch.
What are you talking about, Bosch? Anyway.
I thought we were going to do what you talk about, Willis, and that's a whole other series of problems that we don't need.
No, we don't need that. That's fine. Nope. That's too bad. Anyway, what about you? Who would you pick? Sarah.
Ice Cube, for sure. Ice Cube. I think you did great. He's actually a pretty good actor. Don't get me wrong. Actually, a son of Shay Jackson's a really good actor too. Or Donald
love his
Glover.
song. I love his song. Ice Ice Baby.
If I could pick somebody who's an actor that I really, really love, and everything they watch, I have to see it. It'd probably be like Jeff Daniels.
Interesting.
I think especially after seeing him in The Martian. And he's got good range, but he can also play like a real, just like straight-laced guy. Like I could see him being
an arachnophobia.
Yeah, I like Jeff Daniels, but I don't know
Dumb and Dumber.
Oh,
and I will say that he did a better job in that movie than Jim Carrey, and Jim Carrey got top billing. Jeff Daniels is hilarious in that movie.
He's great.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Is there anyone you'd never want to see in Star Trek? I'll go first. Ben Affleck. Thank you.
Yeah.
Rosie O'Donnell.
Rosie O'Donnell. Paris Hilton. Actually, she could probably play like a little alien or something, and like a little 60s get up kind of thing. Actually, she probably wouldn't be that bad. This is somebody that I love. I love this actor. I just wouldn't want to see them in the Star Trek world because I think people would just judge it too harshly. Or Keanu Reeves. I can't really see him doing anything where it's not like, oh my God, it's Keanu Reeves. Like
he should have been in Insurrection, because then it would have been even more boring than it is.
Oh, Keanu Reeves is great. Don't give me that
joking.
crap.
I love John. I'm just joking. I love John Wick. He's awesome.
I say you need to watch all 4 John Wicks as a penance right now.
Yes. No, I'm just joking. He's good.
I'm trying to think of like the entire
The Replacements is a great movie.
I'm thinking of The Lake House, I think.
I'd
the
like to see the
mailbox or
entire
whatever
cast
that
of
frickin' one is.
Succession.
Oh, that'd be a shit show.
The whole cast of Succession is the ship. It'd be amazing. I wouldn't want to see Kevin Costner in.
I was just gonna say that. I was literally saying that before I did my little ba. Yeah. It's we'll never see Kevin Costner because obviously Paramount wants nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
No, they actually
it's the other way around, I think.
Yeah, they actually want him to come back, and Kevin Costner is like, "Yeah, no, by the way, I'm not coming back to Yellowstone." And they're like, "You're the star, dude."
Yeah. What if Scorsese did one and he had DiCaprio in there somewhere? I could see that.
Wow.
I can almost see Leonardo DiCaprio doing a Star Trek thing and not doing a bad job.
Directed Star Trek movie.
I still wanted the Tarantino. I wanted it bad.
Are you gonna go to Warp Drive?
You talking to me? Oh, yeah.
Yes. Oh, nice.
It's a 5-hour film. Yep. Oh my God.
Ever since I can remember, I always wanted to be a navigator. Sorry, little Goodfellas.
I love that movie. That is one of my favorite.
Dan's out of control now that he's at his watermelon.
The cast of Ray Liotta's back. We got everyone back. We got all the CGI to make them all look young. They're the new cast of the new ship.
I'm sorry.
USS, go fuck yourself.
If we're gonna do a Scorsese movie, it's got to be Casino. I'm gonna have to override all of this.
Yes,
because Casino is still the best Scorsese movie ever made. I'm sorry to all the Scorsese fans and apologists. I get it. The man's an epic film director.
No.
Secretly, I love the fact that he won his only Oscar for a film about Boston and not about New York. That brings me great joy. But Casino is just a masterpiece. Plus, it's Vegas.
I would put Casino number 2 over Goodfellas. Goodfellas is just one that I never get bored with.
Yeah.
And then I'd say Casino.
I apologize.
Very, very close A and B.
I'd agree with you, but we'd both be wrong.
Do you ever go to the plaza and have a cocktail at the bar there where they film Casino?
I never have. That's actually
we'll have to do that when
point.
we're down at Millennium Fan Bar after the party. We'll all go casino style. We'll have a drink at the plaza since we're downtown.
Nice.
There you go. Gimlets all
get
around.
Your fucking shine box. I could say that.
Yes.
What are you doing? Just busting your balls. What's going on here? I just got out. I wanted to see you. I just go get your fucking shine
I'm
box.
gonna rent myself a fur coat just for the occasion. Do a lot of coke, and it's gonna be okay. All right. On that note,
yes,
we're planning debaucherous drinks already in Vegas. I can't wait.
Fun night.
Thanks for coming on to the show and visiting and talking Vegas and Insurrection and Trek and all of that. It's always good to see you guys.
It is always good to see you.
When are you going to invite me back to your shows?
Let me talk to the vice president of marketing.
No. You're the vice president of guest relations,
guest relations, marketing, whatever.
Sarah, on a serious note, we love having you on the network. Yes. We have since day one. The day you told us that Rewind was coming back, I think we both,
yes,
let out a gigantic scream of excitement.
Yep.
This is, as far as we're concerned, this is your home and this is where you belong. And we love the fact that you're here with us. We wouldn't have it any other way.
Yep.
Oh,
I can't say it any better than that.
So sweet.
It's great. And he's right. The day that we found out you were coming back, we were like so ecstatic. We were so happy. So yeah, you are right where you need to be.
Fantastic. Well, we're enjoying our summer break. Haley's got some big moving stuff going on, so we'll be back post STLV to talk all about those great episodes of TNG.
Awesome.
Oh, there's so many bad ones still for us to discuss. So stay tuned.
You guys should talk about Insurrection.
We should. Whoa. I think she likes it. I can't remember. She loves Nemesis. We already talked about that one.
Fired.
Are you what? Oh, whoa.
That's like Haley's favorite movie. She loves it.
Oh,
I know. Why do you think I didn't invite her to this last minute? If you're listening, Haley, hi.
Hi,
Haley.
We love you. All right. Well, I'm going to leave it at that. And thank you guys. And I'm going to do my post closeout audio clip later when I can think. My brain's fried. I'm tired and I want to make some dinner. And we'll talk soon.
All right.
Do it.
Yeah.
We'll see. And
Fingers
we'll see
crossed
in
on
3
good
weeks.
news this week. Hey, fingers
Absolutely.
crossed. We're all going to
Yep.
have a hoot. It's going to be the best convention yet. Everyone's going to be there. It's going to be awesome. Put it out there in the universe.
I was looking some stuff up during the recording, and it looks like the producer or the studios are looking to bring in possibly a federal negotiator to stave off a strike with SAG-AFTRA.
Nice.
And it's Tommy Lee Jones. It's going to be a movie. I can see it now. The Negotiator. Like
Kevin Spacey and Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes.
Not a bad movie, but I won't
Not a
watch it
bad
now
movie.
because of Kevin Spacey.
Kevin
Exactly.
Spacey. Yeah, he's gross.
Yep.
But Tommy Lee Jones would be good in Star Trek if he was a little bit younger. I don't know how old he is now, but
Harrison
like him.
Ford.
Yeah, The Fugitive. Let's just watch The Fugitive. I just love that movie. It's great.
Harrison Ford is cashing so many paychecks, it wouldn't shock me if he do a Star Trek movie at this point.
He's going to be
you
the Red
guys-
Hulk.
He's
Have
on
you
his
seen the
tour
new
to just
Indiana
make money.
Jones?
No.
Not yet. I will see it when it comes out on digital. Did you like it?
I did.
Good.
I really, yeah, but I like Insurrection, so you can't really trust my opinion.
Oh, cray. That's right.
You know
I
what's
liked it. I thought it was a well-told, nice, good story. It was better than the last one.
Bill, that
You know
means it
what's-
sucks.
You know what's really good with Harrison Ford is a new series he just did for Apple TV
It's
called Shrinking.
Shrink,
It is
yeah.
it's a role we've never seen him in.
It's
What's
good.
it
And
about?
It's about this shrink who essentially is still trying to recover from the death of his wife, and he's going off the deep end. And Harrison Ford plays the guy who runs the practice that
Oh,
they
wow.
work at it, and he's
Yeah,
dealing
it's
with
the guy from
his
Freaks
own
and Geeks
stuff.
and How I Met Your Mother. Yeah.
Yeah. He's dealing with his own stuff, like I want to say Parkinson's.
Mm.
So
Interesting.
it's got some very light moments. It's from the same production team that did Ted Lasso.
Mm.
Yep.
But it's Harrison Ford is different than this than anything else he's ever been in.
Wow.
And I think it's the best thing he's ever done.
Are there any other shows that are capturing you guys right now other than the new episodes of Strange New Worlds? So is there anything that you're eagerly anticipating or watching?
I
or?
just finished season 1 of Yellowstone. I'm starting to watch that now, which I
like
really enjoy.
Good show.
We're going to start watching The Flight Attendant pretty soon because that's gotten great
Kelly,
reviews.
yeah.
And what else we got going on? I know there's stuff out there. The Tulsa King is phenomenal. I can't wait for season 2 of
Tulsa King is great.
It's amazing
Never
that
seen
these
it.
actors that we're used to in movies, their best work is now in streaming television. Sly Stallone's best work is Tulsa King. It is phenomenal.
Oh, wow.
Kevin Costner's best work is Yellowstone.
Well, Bodyguard. I mean,
No.
Yeah, it's
He's
Yellowstone.
Way better in Yellowstone.
I love Bodyguard.
If
I
you
do
like
too, but he's better than that.
if you like Yellowstone, you might like Succession. They're both essentially a retelling of King Lear.
I
want to see
became obsessed with Succession by the end. I loved it. That's why I made the joke. I want the whole cast. I want the whole cast to be a Star Trek series. It was dysfunctional, horrible people that can't even figure out which direction to go. Just
Like
so
being on a recording at Trek Geeks.
Kieran Culkin just was fan. Everyone was so good in that. Just horrible people. Yeah. Cool.
All right.
All right.
on.
You guys have a great night. We'll talk
Good
to
to
you
see
soon.
you, Sarah. You got
Take
it.
care. Thanks again.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that does it for another episode of Rewind. Thank you so much, Bill and Dan, for taking the time to talk Insurrection and Vegas. It was super fun. Thank you to 5 Year Mission for the music as always. And thanks to Patreon and the sponsors. And remember, you can find me on Twitter at Van Island Sarah, and you can consider sponsoring and supporting us through Patreon. There's a website, trekgeeks.com, so go check it out, and to infinity and beyond.